The consent agenda, two items, expenditures and the minutes. Any comments or questions on those things? Seeing none, go right into presentation from Mr. Koenig on the winter snow plowing agreement, I think. Is that correct? Good evening, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I guess tonight, the reason appearing before you is because of our multi-jurisdictional pilot program that we had in 2017 and 18 that we did for M11, M45 is up for renewal. And the request was made to continue on with the program with basically removing it from a pilot program and just implementing it as we've done it last year. So thought I'd just take a couple of minutes and, you know, kind of lay it out here on the map so you know exactly what corridor we're talking about doing. Am I got it backwards?
It's on its side.
Like this?
There we go.
There you go.
More better.
That's better. I was like.
More
what's
better.
going on?
Looks upside down to me, but we're gonna work with it. All right, so just, you know, I guess I'll kind of walk through it, but I'll also give you the history of kind of how we got to this point too a little bit. So, you know, our arrangement with Kent County, you know, goes all the way back to 2007, 2008, where we had some informal and formal agreements on some snow removal items. And the first one was this section of Remembrance Road here from essentially the roundabout going all the way up to Hayes or to the on-ramps to the highway. And that was an arrangement that we had a 426 agreement with that Kent County as a subcontractor, and that was like a paid or a request for service. So we only plowed it when they called us and asked us to plow that particular piece of road. And so that went on for several years, and then we would bill them, you know, man hours, equipment hours, and we would just change our material back and forth. So if we used 10 ton of salt, they would just supply us with 10 ton of salt. They just replaced it. So back in 2000, or last year, beginning of last year, 17 and 18, they got into more of a multi-jurisdictional process, you know, involving MDOT, Kent County, and Ottawa County, and they were rejuggling a bunch of the districts that are to the west of here. And in that process, they requested us to participate in that pilot program for us to take over this piece of the original part of the 426, which was from the roundabout going out to Hayes, and now taking that and taking M45 or M11 all the way down to the river and doing M45 from Maynard out to like 2nd Avenue within our corporate boundaries. But the difference here is it wasn't by request, it was they wanted us to implement this into our normal snow removal operations. So we spent last year going through that process of providing that service for snow and ice control, and we had bi-weekly meetings so we could see how we were doing. Now, you know, we were just a small part of this process. They were also talking about the 31 corridor and making adjustments there as things were going on. M6 was involved in this whole multi-jurisdictional thing at the same time. So we did our post meeting this year, and you know, it was everybody felt that it was very successful in the process, and you know, it satisfied the objectives that we set out. So they wanted to continue on with that. So that's why I'm here today is to basically seek approval so that we can sign the 426 agreement on an annual basis. So I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Commissioners, any comments or questions?
Mark, did you find that it was cost effective to do this additional?
And the objective that was laid out for me was to make sure that the city's costs were all covered. So we get an established rate for the truck, for our manpower, and for the equipment. And that all includes maintenance, bookkeeping and all. So last year, we had about 79 inches of snow, pretty average for us. We went through 600 tons of salt on the project last year, and we had about 300 man-hours into that, and that equated out to about $42,000 in invoicing to Kent County, so. Yeah, I think we're right there, and with the ability to sign this annually, we get to review the rates annually as well. So if we, see an increase in the fuel cost or, some of the other costs, then we can adjust it accordingly.
Okay, thank you.
MDOT pays for the salt,
Yeah,
so I mean, no matter what the price of salt is, they're gonna reimburse us.
we get reimbursed ton for ton for the salt. We get paid a handling fee.
Yep.
So we get paid to load the truck and whatever's in our inventory that comes out, they replace it.
So T&M, basically.
Yep.
Time material, yep.
Hey, Mark, I'm just curious, and I think it's great that we see multi-jurisdictional work here. If it were the most pure model, would Ottawa County be responsible for all the M45? Because I know we go a little bit into Ottawa County there, and I'm just curious more just from an accounting perspective, because does Ottawa County pay Kent County back then? Do they give us part of that, or how?
MDOT.
And the same sort of thing with, because it's road commission though, right? So when it's delegated to Ottawa County Road Commission and Kent County Road Commission. MDOT pays them to do that work, but now they've asked us to split jurisdictional work, but the payment source is irrelevant. But I'm curious, do they do a reconciliation or a true-up with Ottawa County on Act 51 revenues or maintenance dollars, or how exactly does that work?
I think on longer segments, it would, but I think on that segment, like in the past, Ottawa County would come all the way past M11 and turn around, but those were more transitional turnaround points that I think all the counties get together and agree upon, how they overlap. And some of those overlaps, depending on their locations, are longer than others. So I think each county reaps the benefit of that overlap at certain points. So I think that's something that they kind of work out together amongst themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great project because, especially, when our residents see a snowplow going down M45 or M11 and the plow's not down, I've had residents ask about that before. It's like, well, it'd be nice if you get that plow down and plow it. It's like, well, but they don't understand that it's county roads and state roads and things like that. So seeing roads plowed, and I think probably we got on it oftentimes quicker. A couple of storms last year, I remember seeing our trucks out there and doing a really good job. Right away, it was, it's not a priority for the county. They have an awful big area to cover, so it works out better for our residents, and we cover our costs.
Yeah, we're dedicating one truck to it, just like the county would dedicate one truck to it. The issue is our truck is just about,
Lot
we're
closer.
within 300 yards of
Yeah.
the zone. So
Right.
we're there that much easier and to work, so to speak. So I think that translates into improved service in that fashion, so.
Yep.
Mark, going into like Ottawa County there, a lot of that's your overlap, and the road commission, they want the driver to find a safe place to turn around, generally a big intersection or someplace like that. That's usually works out the best, so that's how, and Ottawa's gonna come in, find that, and then you get an overlap through the intersections and everything, so.
Yeah, I think the safe overlap turnaround locations are really what drives that. It's, like, for example, we go into Granville, but we go past the Shell station there, we turn around at White Streets, and then we try to get in line at that traffic signal, so we're making a nice, safe move back up into the district, so.
Hey, Mark, I remember discussing this last year, and I think I know the answer. I think that to the point that the mayor was bringing up, the collaboration is great with the multi-jurisdictions, but last year, I think you had mentioned there was no adverse impact on the staffing piece because we have that one person dedicated. I assume that's the same case going forward right now?
Yeah, we, it's an additional truck that we put out early in the morning, so, and then that truck just moves right into the industrials.
Regular
as soon as we
rotation
make that
then?
First round, and, and then we work with Kent County to make sure that, we're modeling the same service, so, we don't get out there too quick and we stay in our subdivisions, and if we have to go back out and clean up, that's kind of a coordinated effort with Kent County as well.
Great, thanks.
Good. Any other questions for Mark?
As long as you don't forget Bristol.
Thanks for the updates.
Yeah, so.
Appreciate you coming in.
So this is the official blue paper document, so they don't necessarily call it the 426 at the state level, they call it the blue page, so that's what we get to sign.
All right.
I got one other request, if anybody's interested in being a celebrity driver at the rodeo, I have some information if they want to look at it, so.
Commissioners, anyone,
It's a good time.
it is a good time.
Sure it is, but I think my legs might be too short for that. Chuck said, I don't know, Roxanne.
You can stand up and drive.
No,
Commissioner Gilbert, you interested in this? This is a great,
If I can get a look at the date,
yep, we got the date.
10th of October.
if I'm free, I'll take a look at my
It's
calendar.
in Norton Shore, so it's a little bit of a drive from here, lunch is
It's in the evening, right?
Yeah, no.
No.
No, it's in the
okay.
afternoon.
Got it.
I think traditionally you folks have driven right at noon, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, for the
They're
celebrity.
they're
You get
pretty
there
good about doing
late
that for
morning.
us, yeah.
Got it. All right, I'll take a look and I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah.
It's right over there, right?
It's a 10.
Didn't you work right along the lake there sometime?
It's a fun time.
And then,
You did.
just to add on to that little piece, anytime during the winter when the snow's flying and, you're bored at home and you wanna jump in a plow truck, I'll make sure, sometime in December that you guys get the contacts of, myself and, Gary and Tom and Pat, and if you wanna
I'd love to do
make that arrangement, in the past, we've pretty much done, we pick you up right at the end of your driveway, so, and,
One time I thought it'd be a good idea to learn what it was like from the very beginning. So I came in at like 3 a.m. and saw like the pre-engine check and all the kind of stuff that goes along with it. I just was curious to see what it was like and spent the whole night plowing snow. And let me tell you, it was amazing. We have a great team, and the things that they do for our residents and the insight that goes on, this is not just get in a truck and drive. It's super impressive. I mean, that's why our residents
Absolutely.
always comment about how great our snow plowing is, because they really care. So if you get a chance to do it, I'd recommend it.
yeah, just to piggyback on that a little bit, you get to see what the drivers, not only what they're doing, but what they actually know out there on, hey, we gotta get over here if the schedule's changed a little bit because this is happening, or, this business is, gonna be letting out on third shift, let's run down through there now. And, cause each one of these guys pretty much stick in their districts throughout each winter, so, but anyways,
That's a good process. That's one thing the residents do say is that, we have the best plowed roads.
I
During the
think
winter.
the eye-opening piece, we've learned pies are bad. Remember the term with the pies? At the end, the pies are bad. And then I think the one that was eye-opening for me was up off West River Drive, and we had some black ice. And trying to get those big trucks up those hills to dump salt, you have a healthy respect for what they have to do and go about it. So I'd encourage, if you can make time to do it, do it.
and the technology in the trucks is really changing too, and it's, with the joystick controls and stuff, it's really, if I come in and do anything, I go to the oldest truck because I can't even figure
It's
out
pretty
how
much
to turn half that
Xbox.
stuff on.
Agreed.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Good,
Yep,
thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, I know the clerk would like to have Kendra talk a little bit about the work that she's been doing. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that before we start, Sarah?
She put a nice presentation together for you all today, and so she's going to go over it with you all.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for having me. You can pass these down if you want. It's a nice and brief presentation. So I've been here about a year now, so I thought it'd be a great time just to give you an update of what social media has looked like in the last year or so. So just to start, let me pull this up here in front of you, is our social media update. Starting with Facebook, since September of last year, we've increased by over 1,000 followers. And that was my goal initially in the first year, was to at least get another 1,000 followers or so. And I think my next goal moving forward is going to be to try to double that for next year. It's been great. We've had a lot of great content that we've been posting. People especially love the construction updates, especially with Leonard Street right now. Those have been, we've been getting a lot of new followers, just residents in the area that are looking for the updates on Facebook, as well as people that like to attend our events, so that are kind of looking to stay updated on that as well. Post reach has also increased by 54%. Which means on average, 39,343 followers are reached on average, which reached on Facebook means people are clicking on our posts, sharing our posts, or liking our posts, so it can be any variation of that. That's kind of how I tell which one of our posts are most effective. Things that we tag other people in and videos are our most effective post. And then on average, we're posting about 6 posts a week, some more, some less. In addition to the sponsored posts that we're running. So we're usually always running a sponsored post at all times. Right now, we're running one for Pumpkin Bash, and then also we're in need of election workers for chair people, so we're running a post on that too. I've worked with Shannon and HR to post employment postings where we'll boost those to reach more people. Other good things to post are community meetings, like the upcoming roundabout meeting that'll be next week. It's just a great way to get a hold of a lot of people, especially people that might not follow our page but live in the area that we want to reach. So boosting posts is a really good way to do that. In total, in 2018, we've spent about $700 on boosted posts, which is actually a very a very low cost for advertising. Just to do one print ad, for example, in a local newspaper, is about that cost, and it would run for 7 days. So this is an entire year's, and we've reached, on average, we spend $30 on a boosted post, and that $30 reaches about 5,000 people in addition to our 4,000 followers, just by adding $30 to it. So it's really cheap and effective. A lot of that money has been covered by event sponsorships, because they are used to market our events, and our sponsors also get a kickback from that too, because they are being advertised in the sponsorship. So it is a really an effective way, and I think that's a great way moving forward to get content out there, especially when we're trying to reach residents with some important community information as well. Moving on to our website. Our Facebook feed, I guess a couple of things that we've updated to our website. We've added a Facebook feed to the WIFIC website and also our city website, so people can also be able to reach our Facebook content right from our homepage, and that will link people there by clicking on it too. Right now, we're in the process of updating all the photos on our website. We had a photographer come, and you might notice some of the website photos we have are kind of old and feature old signage and things that might no longer be at the city. So we're updating it and slowly refreshing everything on our page with current and up-to-date photos, and you'll kind of notice that over the next couple months as things change. We've also added the Youth Commission video. I don't know if you guys remember, they made a really good video for us that features the city of Walker. So now that's a featured post that's permanent on the bottom of our website. You can scroll down and see that. And that will also bring users to our YouTube channel as well. And that's where anyone that watches our live stream can also go to our YouTube channel and see that. And then we're currently working with Revise, who's our website host, to improve our website. The website's a great way to get content out to our residents. We want it to be user-friendly, especially for people with mobile phones, and I think we can definitely improve there always. So we're working with them just to make it a little bit more friendly, making information more accessible, especially like bid tabs, where to find them. Right now, they kind of get buried by old ones, so we're trying to work with them to make a nice platform where they can view upcoming bids that are up to date instead of seeing all the old ones first. So that's kind of ongoing, so any suggestions you have for our website, always let me know those, because I can relay them to them and we can work on it. And then our newsletter as well. We still are doing the one annual printed newsletter, which will go out the first week of February in 2019. But we continue to send out the monthly e-newsletter. Currently, we have 3,528 subscribers to that. About 46% of those subscribers open the email. So it varies each month, but that's on average our open rate. Last year, that average was about 20%. Then starting in December, it was about 36%. And then it's bumped up to consistently about 46% at that moment. You notice a jump between March and May. In between there was another option that the email subscriber that we use added a resend feature. So it now allows us to send the email once, and then anyone that didn't open it 4 days later gets a reminder. And so we've noticed that's increased our amount of people that read that information. And from those people that open it, we have about 1,000 people that open the email. From those 1,000, about 80 to 90 click on the links that are in the email. So different users will go to the information that they find in the email. So it is an effective way to get information to people too. And still currently we're about 50-50 on mobile users versus website users. So I think it's important to make sure that it's always formatted for a mobile platform. And then looking forward to next year, I would love to add an Instagram and a Snapchat for the city. I think that's a great way to reach young people, also a great way to get content around for events, even like election-wise and different community meetings that are coming up. It's a great way to reach that younger crowd. And the Instagram would be a great way, too, to feature posts and pictures from around the city to kind of show how beautiful our city is, too. And then also continuing to improve the website. So as always, any suggestions or recommendations are welcome. And my email's at the bottom there. You can send them right to that. Any questions?
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Good job.
I have a couple questions.
Let's go to
Are
the
you
bottom.
doing, do you have analytics, Google Analytics on the website, so you know how we're performing and our reach and stuff like that?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do currently have them. Yep, I can get those for you too if
Yeah,
you'd be
I'm just
interested in
curious.
seeing those.
Do you put those in the monthly report?
Not usually, no, but I could include them in the future. I'll put them on here.
And are you gonna do this by chance, the tax comparison on,
I just made it.
this is, because this is a very frequent question that residents have of
Absolutely.
like, well,
Ask
why
us
do we have
all the
income tax?
time.
Why is it high?
Yeah.
And this has really been the best way to help residents understand that no matter what you have, no matter where you live, you're gonna pay taxes. And it's a different means to the same end, but this is the best way to really explain the process so that residents know that we're working hard with their tax dollars and that, from a comparison perspective, we do as good as anybody.
Yes, that's, I wanted it to be in a very readable format that's easy to
Absolutely.
Yeah.
glance at and kind of see the difference there, so.
Yep, that's
Yes.
great.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for very timely work. Anytime that I ever send you stuff, it's always up right away, and I think that's terrific. And I also think that it's good that we have the separate police and fire. You know, several years ago, when we first started talking about social media, it was nebulous, and we went through this big old to-do with legal and what we could say, what we couldn't say. We worked through all those things. But police and fire and what we do here is working out really well. And I think that as we continue to see these growth figures, so a lot of it's thanks to you for your work and for timeliness. I mean, it has to be timely and relevant to be social media. You can't put stuff up from 2 weeks ago. I might as well just forget about it. So timeliness is critical, and you do a great job of that. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And then the only other question I had was, you also do Twitter, right?
Yes, yep, we also do Twitter. I don't have any statistics on Twitter at the moment. I could get them for you, though, if you'd like them. But we could definitely do more on Twitter.
There's at least one Twitter person here.
There's two, there's
I
two.
watch.
I'm half in the boat. I'm not all the way there. Any other comments or questions, commissioners?
No, I think she does a great job.
Nice job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's great.
I had a couple. First off, phenomenal, you know, my feelings on the work you've done with it, so that's good. You mentioned a minute ago the Facebook feed to WIFIC, and anything else that he did. Did that include like the police and fire pages?
It just links, you can only link one Facebook to a city page, or to the website. So I linked the Walk, Rise, and Fitness page to theirs.
Which would make the most
Yep, and
sense, okay.
then, but if we wanted to, we could add the police page to their Facebook page and link it together. So if someone goes to the police department page, they would pull up the police website, or I'm sorry, police Facebook page.
The city Facebook page.
No, if we wanted to link a separate page, but I can only link one to the home page,
I
which
almost-
I have the city.
I almost
walker
think
as
that
well.
there's some common sense there in linking that at the police page, at their respective departmental page,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
having the link to their specific Facebook.
And right now, there's just a link that says follow us on Facebook, and it clicks it there, but we could incorporate the feed like we have where you can see our last 4 posts that we did right
I
on
think
their
that's,
page.
we talked about that a while ago. I really think it's good to do it
It's a
that
good
way too.
suggestion.
And you also tend to build your base of good search engine optimization by linking back to a page of that. So if the police have an event, they could, link back to that on their page. That really increases your performance, and that way, not that we're a business trying to grow our commerce, but as residents see that the better the Google search is, the better the SEO on the behind the scenes side, the better our residents, as they search for something, the better they'll find it, because we know people that, they find these things based on searches.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, it would not take very long at all to add that to the
Yeah.
pages, so I'll work on that.
And then from a social media policy, this is the HR part of me. Is it something that because I don't think we've updated it since we started it, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
So it might be time, just a suggestion to conversation with Shannon and maybe even have Jeff Sluggett take a look, make sure that we're mitigating any risk that we could potentially have out there in usage and making sure we're compliant with the things that we need to be too. That gets to be a very gray area for a lot of organizations, but almost all employee handbooks I see nowadays have a component in there with the social media policy. I just want to make sure that we're up to date with it, with any legal changes.
Social media policy as to what's on our city Facebook page?
It could be employee utilization, expectations, do's, don'ts.
If you recall, Jeff gave us guidelines as to what we could or couldn't post, and we said that.
Right.
And so then the question, I think what Gary's getting at is that from a human resources perspective, even if you make a comment or something like that, so if you're an employee of the city or an elected official, we have to be cautious that we represent what's in the best interest of the city. We can be honest and truthful, but we have to make sure that we don't make a representation that might be contrary, that would adversely affect the reputation of the organization. And so how people post things individually, still recognizing you're an employee, has credence. So that's probably one of the things we probably
It's two
should.
different things. We have the social media policy for what we put on our website and our Facebook page, but then you were talking about the HR part of employees, what they're posting, which is a separate policy.
No, I think within the social media, I think that there's a component like our employee handbook should be updated every year. The social media policy should be getting that review at that same time frame, just for any legal changes taking place in the course of the year.
The social media portion should be a component of the employee handbook.
That's exactly where I said in there. You covered the Twitter thing, and then on I noticed that the Revise has, I mean, it is mobily optimized, generally speaking. Not bad, it's come a long ways. But I would offer up, I think I've shared this stat before, I think it was 2016, that search, when people were searching, that was the first year Google said that people were searching more from these than they were your laptops. So that was 2 years ago. So the importance of having something that's mobily optimized and easily accessible for our residents. It's not just the transparency, it's the ease of use and the usability as you had, on here. So just don't take the foot off the gas with them is the encouragement.
It'll continue to migrate and grow on the mobile
Yeah.
side.
But no, great job. Kendra, I can't say enough good things about what you've done with it, so.
Thank you.
She's amazing.
Yep.
All right.
We're lucky to have her. Okay.
Okay. All right. It is 7 o'clock, so I'll call the regular commission meeting to order. I'd like to invite Commissioner Gilbert to provide us with the invocation, if you would, please.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you for being here with us tonight as we gather to do a good work on behalf of the people of the city of Walker. We thank you for the beautiful weather and the sunshine and the start of the fall season. We ask that you offer us the guidance to do what is best for our community and allow us to continue to build a brighter future for all those whom we are here to represent. Lord, we ask you that you protect all those who work so hard to serve and protect us, from our first responders to our military. And Lord, we thank you for all that you do to allow us to be here and serve our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ask you to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have the clerk call the roll, please.
Mayor Heisinga,
Present?
Commissioner Kent,
Present?
Commissioner Gilbert,
Present?
Commissioner DeShane,
Present?
Commissioner Carey,
Present?
and Commissioner Outland.
Present.
Thank you.
And we need a motion to approve Commissioner Gruder's absence this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Holland.
Support?
Support by Carey. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is public comment on any agenda items, and seeing no public comment, we'll move into presentations and proclamations. We have two this evening. The first one, this was submitted by a resident who asked to give special recognition for trigeminal neuralgia. So if you don't know what that is, it's a terrible pain that starts in your facial area, basically, and moves down your face, and it can be quite debilitating. And I'll just read this proclamation for Trigeminal Neuralgia Awareness Day, October 7, 2018. Whereas trigeminal neuralgia is a disorder on the fifth cranial nerve that's often called the worst pain, and whereas trigeminal neuralgia causes sharp, stabbing, electric face-like face pain, and it's not unusual for sufferers to end their lives trying to escape this antagonizing pain, and whereas episodes of pain can strike at any time, anywhere, and last for extended periods, leaving persons helpless and incapacitated, and whereas on October 7th, 2018 marks the 6th Annual International Trigeminal Awareness Day, where we receive over 100 world landmarks, international bridges, buildings, and structures light up in teal for the evening in support of this awareness. I, Mark Huizinga, Mayor of the City of Walker, hereby proclaim October 7th, 2018 to be Trigeminal Awareness Day in the City of Walker. So this is an interesting thing. When I worked in pain management, we saw a lot of patients with this, and it's one thing to bring up, and I think it's a nice gesture for the city, and so I'll look for a motion on this.
I'll make that motion with a side note. My mother had trigeminal neuralgia, and the pain is what Mark has said. It's debilitating, and even morphine at times will not touch that pain. So I thank you for doing this, Mark. I think it's well needed and brought to the surface.
Great, thank you,
Support.
Commissioner. And we have the support from Commissioner Kent. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. The next item is the presentation 2018 Fire Prevention Week, and I'll just, I don't know if I need to read through this thing, it's quite long, but I think you've all had a chance to look through the details on this, and we all support
Yes.
our firefighters and what they do, and look to help them to encourage anything that they can do to prevent fires in their homes. So with that, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by DeShane,
Support.
with support by Carrie. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is reports from the city manager. We had Mr. Koenig come in and talk about the MDOT winter pilot maintenance plowing agreement. Frank, anything else to add to that beforehand?
No, he's asking for a 1-year extension of that 426 agreement with MDOT. And
That would also include essentially this evergreen clause that wouldn't require them to come back on an annual basis. He said that, and I talked to Daryl about that. I think that makes a lot of sense too, but they would still allow for reconciliation of the funds and pricing and stuff. We would still have the out for it, and I just want to make sure everyone understands that. I think after 1 year of a pilot, that's pretty clear.
Will they still have the meetings? Because they have like,
They would still have that
good.
reconciliation
I think
and
that's
ability
good
to
to have
get
that
out.
camaraderie.
this would be a 1-year agreement, though.
Okay.
The finance mechanism stays the same unless we see an increase in fuel costs or supply costs.
Yeah, the numbers can change.
Every year, we would have essentially this meeting be vetted by staff,
Okay.
and then recommendation be made to city commission to say, can we approve this coming year's contract with MDOT?
Okay.
So I think that's what Mark is saying, and the way I heard it from him today. They're seeking approval from the commission to sign annually the MDOT 426 agreement with the road commission. The finance mechanism in the back would stay the same, but he still wanted the contract approved on an annual basis.
Oh, he does, okay. All right,
Which seems pretty wise. And that way, if conditions change in the background with the finances and the service or staffing or whatever, then we can adjust the agreement. But at least that way it doesn't get away from you. You folks see it every year.
I
See,
agree.
The good thing about the annual thing is MDOT's gonna change. You know, if they add lanes, but they still want you to do it for the same price as you did for the last 2 years, but you got more work to do or whatever. So, I think, you know, the way I see it and the way Mark is, time and material, so as long as we're getting our cost and it's working for our DPW and our costs are covered, then that will go with it, but,
good.
so,
All right, so I just look for a motion on that then.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Kent,
I'll support.
support by Gilbert. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. 2 items, 1013 commission meeting minutes and expenditures in the amount of $8,410,720.96. Look for a motion to pay the bills.
Motion?
Motion by Gilbert,
Support.
support by Holland. All in favor, please say aye.
I,
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you. Seeing no other public, we have no public comment. Move to Commissioner and City Manager comments. Mr. Wash?
I will be brief. Sitting in for Daryl tonight, he's at the ICMA conference in Baltimore. He will be back, I believe, on Wednesday evening. We have two items. Number one, we scheduled a pre-meeting for the open house on Thursday at 3:30. I sent out an Outlook appointment today about the open house for Kinney in Remembrance. So if you can make that, we'll be in the commission conference room, and staff and the consultants will explain the format of the open house and then their preliminary findings. So that way, going into the open house, you'll have the information that you might need if someone asks you, hey, what's going on here in the format. So hopefully you'll,
What time's the open house?
open house starts at 4:30,
Okay, but that meeting's at 3:30?
3:30.
Okay.
People usually,
And I think that's a great idea to
Yeah,
do that, just so we can all be on the same page, because I think there will be a large presence. And it'll be nice that we're all on the same page.
Or at least have the information.
and you all have different opinions about the project, right? And we're completely aware of that. We just want to make sure that you as officials going in will have the most up-to-date information, and you'll understand how the stations will be laid out too, so that you can present, however you want to folks, but at least you will have the information in front of you.
Okay, thank you.
And then item number two, as Kendra already said, she put together this infographic with John Marin, who's your new treasurer, assistant treasurer. And feel free to use that as a reference document, and shows the value of living in this city, especially when you show the flip side of services. Feel free to use that as a reference. And that is enough.
Commissioner Kent?
Well, I'll just add to, I think this is great work, and seems like the clerk's office, they seem to bring something good all the time, so it's good to see it, and it's well appreciated to have that, to explain to people when they have the questions, and thank you.
Commissioner DeShane?
yeah, I have a couple things. I too like this. I think this is great. Good job, clerk's office. I want to tell you that I attended the pickleball demonstration. Thank you, everybody else, for attending. Sarah, thank you. And I want to tell you, it was really fun. It was kind of, I didn't really ever know what pickleball really was, and it was very, very well attended by the residents. I had a lot of fun. It's very low impact game, but it's very challenging and it's a lot of fun. And I think that is something that a lot of residents are looking to possibly bring to Walker, because we had, I'd say, well over 40 people in attendance, wouldn't you, Sarah?
60.
60, okay. Well, they were coming and going at different times, and I was very busy because I was playing pickleball, and that was fun. And then I also want to thank you for your proclamations. I think that's really great that the trigeminal neuralgia proclamation, sometimes we don't truly understand some of the pain that residents are going through, and making it awareness, like seeing something in a teal color or a purple color. It's kind of nice to let those people know that, hey, they're being recognized, and, although we might not completely know the pain that they're going through, we can at least support them. And I think proclamations are important, as well as like the fire prevention. I think our fire department does a great job of Prevention Week for our residents in the form of just educating the residents and the kids in schools and such. And then my last comment is about the Walker Police Department. I don't know if any of you have seen the Fox series Beyond the Badge, but Tiffany Elliott did a great job, and, we're the first ones to be spotlighted, and she was a great representative for us, so that's all I have to add.
Good. At least I have a little bit I can add
Oh,
to
I'm
that.
sorry. We'll go next time, we'll go the other way.
I just wanted to say thank you to Sarah and Kendra. We always get good stuff from you guys, and you're always updating to the nth degree, which is fabulous for all of us. Just wanted to mention about the great convention that happened. I was asked to be one of the speakers for the Elected Officials Academy. And so I presented on Saturday morning, and we had about 35 people there that were interested in going from level 1, 2, 3, or 4 So if anybody is interested, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it and why it's helpful to you as an official. And I've even been asked by a couple of the different municipalities to come and present it to their council. So we'll be doing that in the future. But just wanted to let you know everything was good.
Thank you. Commissioner Carey?
Nothing?
Commissioner Gilbert?
Good.
Sarah?
Only news we have is we hope to get ballots on Wednesday. Still don't have them yet. So we're gearing up in preparation to hopefully still get them out at Monday at the latest. That's the goal.
Good. Kendra, do you have anything else?
And just thanks for letting me join you guys
Yeah.
today.
Good. Well, just thanks again to Sarah and Kendra for the great work you guys do. It's really important for us to communicate, and just in the last 5 years, we've really seen a dramatic increase in the way that we do that to our residents, and it's been a joint effort, but you think about the way the newsletter's gone and things like that, it's something that we can all really be proud of, so thanks for your work there. And especially thanks for all the continued great work with the concert series this summer. It's phenomenal, so really enjoyed that.
I think it's great to have personally the social media in-house. I think it's really helped. It's amazing to see DPW, engineering, income tax, treasurer, just walk in and say, hey, can you post this, just that constant contact has been a great benefit this year for the whole city. It's been awesome. So we're lucky. Thanks.
To tie in with the comments, Roxanne, thank you for your kind words about the ordinances, or the proclamations that last Friday had a chance to present the POW MIA, and that's a really special one every year, and it's a very dramatic and sacred service to go to. But Kendra was great to post it up there. It was really cool. So I enjoyed that a lot. Enjoyed the MML conference. It was a good time. Always learned something new. It's nice to have it hosted in Grand Rapids. And I see everyone's embraced their new name tags, so I'm not sure. I know there's a bunch of people involved with that, but thanks. They're really nice, easy to read, really gives us consistent branding, something we continue to work on, so I appreciate that. Sounds like Commissioner Gilbert's going to be our snowplow driver. Find a way to make that happen. You should really do it. It's really going to be fun.
That's all right.
Yep. And it also gives a really tremendous, different perspective and respect for anybody driving a snowplow, so.
You can take some pointers from Sarah. She
Yeah,
did it.
she
First place.
Got it.
I might have to make you do a Facebook Live video for me. Live from the snowplow.
Competition's fun,
And I'll be out of town this week, Friday and Saturday in New Mexico on vacation, but then traveling to Salt Lake City on Monday for a work meeting, but I'll be back on Monday night. So just to let you know that. And with that, let's see, I think we are good to go. Look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Holland. Support by Kent. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.